I met Anthony on Facebook. I was scrolling through and seen him. So I thought, well, I'll message him. Well, we got to talking, and he had told me he is a Tier 2 sex offender, which is a step away from being like a real pedophile, a real monster. I was kind of leery, so I started doing some investigating myself and found that no, I did not believe any of this. I know he is not guilty. I believe this person lied on him. I do believe the child was coached into all of this. Him being a sex offender is really hard for me. He's not allowed around my grandkids. As a matter of fact, he's not allowed around any child if they're under the age of 18. My grandfather passed away. We called the PO. He told us that if he goes, that Anthony has to sit in the car if there's any children there. And it just broke my heart. I mean, I needed him there to comfort me. He is actually a miracle to me. I was in an abusive relationship. I was scared of men. I met Anthony, and he is like a dream to me. He is not only my boyfriend, he is my best friend. It has never crossed my mind that he's gonna fail this lie detector test. I know he will pass. But it does scare me that he took a plea. I hope that everyone sees this show and sees that he is a good man and that, you know, he did not do this.
You have been indicted for numerous counts of rape and related charges involving the young boy.
Yes.
And this is a boy under 8 that you supposedly raped.
Yeah, up under 10, yeah.
Yeah.
So we was going to court, and on the 3rd month, that's when my lawyer came and said, well, because I'm not a saint, I got prior records, but
you're saying you're not a rapist of young boys.
Correct. And I'm like, man, that's sick. So he said, well, since the prosecutor, he talked to the prosecutor, and he said, well, I do got prior records on assaults and weapons, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So he said, well, we're gonna make a deal. We're gonna drop the rate and just drop it down to a GSI. And
you're a Tier 2 sex offender. You were
Yes.
convicted of gross sexual imposition, abduction with sexual motivation, and disseminating matter harmful to juveniles. So they dropped it from rape to a bunch of other lesser charges.
Yes.
And how many years did you get?
Well, he promised me for a year and 6 months.
Right.
So when I went to court and the prosecutor ran up, you know, because I got a book of my record. Like I said, I'm not a saint. So they sentenced me 4 years.
So you have a very extensive knowledge of the legal justice system.
Right.
Right?
Correct.
Been in prison before?
Yes.
Okay. So you must have some knowledge that people that are convicted of sex crimes against children aren't treated very nicely in prison.
No.
Right. You know that, right?
Yeah, right.
So you said, I'll take that deal.
Because there was nothing to fight for. He said if I went to court and the jury looked at it because of the underage child,
right.
I'm looking at 25 to life.
Right.
So, you know.
So you said, I don't want to roll those dice.
Right.
I'll do the year and a half, which ended up being 4 years.
Right, because I look at it like, okay, that's no big deal, because my previous record, I did longer time.
Yeah, but then knowing that you're going to have to register as a sex offender for the rest of your life?
Yes.
You were okay with that?
That, no. Till the day.
But you know you're going to have to do that by taking the deal.
Right. Because
you didn't stick with that plan. There's no evidence. Let's fight this.
I tried to fight it, but the lawyer I had.
But if you said, no, I'm not taking a plea, he would have had to fight for you.
Yeah, he had to fight for me. And then,
but you didn't. You said, I'll take the deal.
Yeah, I'll take the deal.
Yeah. So you get out after doing 4 years of easy time in state prison, and you meet a young girl.
Correct.
Where you meet her at?
Online.
Online.
Like Facebook.
On Facebook. And you're in the same area as her?
No.
You meet up?
You're correct.
Now, before you meet her in actual person, you say, hey, I'm a convicted sex offender?
Correct.
And what did she say?
She had her doubts, and I have paperwork, and I faxed her, not faxed,
What's the paperwork say?
What the allegations were.
Yeah. Did you send her the paperwork that says you're convicted?
Yes.
Yeah. And she didn't believe
She
it.
was worried. Yeah, she didn't believe it. And
Because
she
you
had her
told her it's
thoughts.
not true.
Correct.
Right. So you meet up and what happens?
Well, everything started working out good, and she starts seeing, and then she started asking questions. It's what she still had little doubts.
Doubts about whether you did
Right.
it or not.
So
And
she said, without her, she the one, call the show and let's get this proven.
right. You say on the tape that you were in abusive relationships, right? And you were scared of men, right? Which I get it, man, because I dealt with a lot of women that were domestic violence victims, and they were scared of men because men that did horrible things to them, beat them, starved them, chained them up, did all kind of crazy to them, right?
Yes.
So you become afraid of men, and then the guy you decide to date is a convicted felon.
Yes.
And he tells you about it before you even meet. Wouldn't that
Yes,
be
he
like
did. He
one of
told
your
me the next
interior
day.
defenses be like, he's X'd off?
I was leery of him at first. I was.
Yeah.
Because I have
What
6 children
changed your
myself.
mind?
I've done my own investigating.
Your
I've-
own investigator. And are you
well,
a private investigator?
No, I'm not. My point is, he told me who this woman's name was. I was scrolling through Facebook and just kept doing that for months at a time.
And by going through Facebook, you determined that this person.
I seen the post that she had posted, admitting to lying on him. And
So you
threatening
don't
to do
believe
it
that a
again.
boy of under 8
I believe he was
who
coached.
told the authorities that this guy here raped him, that young boy lied?
I believe he was coached.
He was coached. How about the fact that there's no, according to Anthony, that there's no physical evidence and he took a plea deal?
Yeah, it upsets me that he took a plea deal because I feel like he should have fought. Because there was no physical evidence. There was nothing.
Right. Who wants to do 4 years for
Yeah,
something
and that's
you
what
didn't
I asked
do?
him. I said, why would you do that?
And what did he
said
say?
He was scared. I said,
So,
well,
yeah.
I've never been in that situation, so I don't know what I would do.
I always say all the time, he did his crime. Now, we might not like it, and I would never let this guy around me or my family, but he has the right to go back into society and meet somebody and have a life and whatever, because our legal system said, okay, this is your punishment, you do this time. He did it, he gets out. He has rights like other people, right?
Yes.
So why not just go on with your relationship? Why make him come here to have this
Because-
whole thing blow up in his face? Boom.
I want everybody to know the truth.
Right. Anthony came on the show, took a lie detector test, and we asked him, did you rape the child in question? Did you rape the child in question? He answered no. Did you ever have physical contact with the child in question for your own sexual gratification or pleasure? He answered no. The results came back the same to each question, and they came back that Anthony did not tell the truth.
Now, I have the evidence. You can take that and stick it. You're a liar.
Whoa,
That's a damn lie. And this
Oh.
show is a
good
I'm
news
not.
for Anthony, because she just said this test is she doesn't believe it, so it's probably really good for you. She wants to stay with you, I'm sure. You know what you've seen. Good, so you go home and
They
believe
just-
that a boy under 8
He was never accused
lied
of
about
rape. He
being
didn't go to
raped
jail
by
for
a
rape.
grown
So they need to get
man.
that right. He went to jail for GSI
So you
supposedly
roll-
touching him. He
Excuse
wasn't
me.
around him. He was in Kentucky.
You roll the dice with your grandchildren, you whacked out crazy woman. So again, there's a reason why you pled guilty, because you did it.
Let's go.
Come on now!
Now, he wasn't accused of rape. He was accused of GSI, and that ain't
your
true either.
4th of July.
I
Bye-bye.
Take your lie detector test and stick it. I don't believe him. I know it's a joke.